You might notice, or perhaps you're just beginning to notice, that the idea of installing something, a belief, an insight, an ability, it can feel a lot like remembering something that you've always known. Only now you remember it differently. That you allow that realization to settle, like soft dust on still water. You may become curious about how deeply the concept of acceptance is already familiar to you. In fact, too familiar, like the sky, or the beat of your own heart. Now imagine a river. It doesn't try to control the rocks in its path. It flows around them, shaping them softly over time. It's not resisting, and yet it changes everything it touches. That is acceptance. And isn't it interesting how in every moment, something within you it already knows that impermanence is the rule, not the exception. That growth isn't a task, it's direction. That challenges aren't problems. They're just puzzles that your unconscious is already solving. Let's go deeper, because you already are becoming someone who understands that self-compassion, it isn't weakness, it's power. It's what makes true resilience possible. After all, a rubber band only snaps when it's brittle. Flexibility is strength. And the moment you accept that, you become unstoppable. You might ask, how do I do this? But that's the wrong question, because the deeper truth is, you're already doing it. Every breath you take, every moment you choose to observe your thoughts instead of fighting them, you install a belief. Like this. What if everything I once thought was a problem was actually a portal? And as that lands, something in you starts to shift. You've seen this before. The hero in every story. They never grow because things were easy. They grow because they accepted the path, even before they understood it. And because you're hearing this now, that part of you that learns faster than you know you can learn, it's already decoded the structure of transformation. Let me tell you about someone who used to be controlled by judgment, judging themselves, others, every situation, always needing things to be just right before they could breathe. And one day they simply got tired. So they stopped resisting, and the strangest thing happened. They became free, just like that. Because acceptance is the permission slip to live. When you give up the illusion of control, you gain something much more powerful, influence. Because we are not trying to change the waves. You can learn to surf. And it gets even more fascinating, because inside of acceptance lives every other virtue. Courage, because facing reality takes bravery. Authenticity, because when you're not performing, you're powerful. Presence, because when you're not escaping the now, you can shape it. Resilience, because nothing sticks to the self that flows. Now try this on. Even my resilience is something I can accept. It sounds like a paradox, but isn't it true that paradox is where the real magic happens? You're not here to fight yourself into greatness. You're here to welcome yourself home. And in doing so, you realize reality is malleable. Your emotions are messengers, not enemies. You don't need permission to feel whole. The more you embrace who you are, the more life embraces you back. So let's try another frame. Let's say a storm rolls in. You could curse it, complain, run, resist. Or you could dance in the rain, plant seeds in the wet soil, and let that storm water everything that you've been growing silently inside. Now you're not just surviving storms, you're using them. And every belief about what used to go wrong, it's shifting into a new belief about what's possible. Right now, your unconscious mind is rewiring pathways. It's already installing I'm enough, even while becoming more. Every moment, it's either a lesson or a launch pad. My energy attracts, reflects, and creates reality. My presence is a gift. What I resist persists. but what I accept transforms. And the beautiful thing is, you don't even need to try. Because the trying is what's fading. What's arriving is allowing. So if from now on, every time you felt overwhelmed, you remembered, this too is part of the process. Even this is welcome. Especially this is welcome. Then how much easier would growth become? Did you imagine that version of you, the one who no longer fights themselves, but moves like water, learns like fire, and holds himself with the gentle strength of the earth itself? You might realize you're becoming that version. You're already that version now. Because when the belief, I am the process, takes root, all resistance becomes fertilizer. And the most powerful version of you already knows acceptance isn't the end of change. It's where change begins.